Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Now, on the 11th of September, I did a video on Stephany Williams, Medikk, and I expected that that would be the last video I would be doing on that topic for good. Reason being, we all know that Medikk isn't coming back. We know she's not coming back, one. And we all know that this case is basically dead because the police really has the person who got in touch with considerable or substantial lead who was connected to, well, as far as everybody knows, who was the brother, however, of Medikk's boyfriend. After posting that video, she had some internal, some people she had some intimate knowledge of things and gave me some further information. And based on that information, she knew Medikk's sister, and she knew the situation that I am forced, boyfriend, by circumstances, the previous one he had to do. It is only logical that I do this follow-up because I think there are information here that could help the police. But before we go into that, let us look at who is one of the important things I've learned is who is this mystery person. And the person who fed me this information let me know that his name is Dwight Gale. And Dwight Gale is a monster in every sense of the word. It's one of the most heinous things that have ever come forward in human form, that has ever manifested itself in human form. This Dwight Gale calls itself White Knight, which is a misnomer because when you think of a white knight, if any of you who used to read fairy tale storybooks of the past, you would know that a white knight is the epitome of everything that is good. Honor, respect, chivalry, manners, pride, principles. The height of everything that is good was the white knight. And yet this spawn of Satan calls himself White Knight. Now, simply put, White Knight is a professional hitman. And he's not just a professional hitman, he's a professional international hitman because he doesn't only he not only dirts people in Jamaica, but he goes across the Caribbean and dirt people. He has taken out people in the Cayman Islands, the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos Island, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and of course Jamaica. He was arrested for the murder of the national, of a Jamaican national in the Turks and in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2008. But because witness failed to come forward, he had to be released, and after doing hits, probably more than one hit, in that country, he came back to Jamaica, where he continued his profession of carrying out hits. Now, he eventually carried out a hit on a man called Ron Walcott and in March 15, 2010. And in March 19, 2 years later, which was 2012, he was sentenced in the Clarendon Circuit Court. Now, he has been in prison from 2012 until now. And this is a man who have like at least a dozen murder on his hands. He under his belt. He have as much as that. Well, call it dozen and one. Because now Stephany Williams is also one of his victims. So he has at least 13 murders under his belt internationally. Right? And he has been in jail. So you guys might wonder now, so how could he be in jail and he is this boyfriend and he was the music producer? Well, here is what happened as far as the story goes, based on what I'm hearing. He was with this man in St. James, and this man was actually in the music producing business. And she was with him, she met him during about maybe 4 years ago, and they had something in common. They weren't like proper girlfriend, but there was like a friend with benefits situation. And that friend with benefits situation him leads to him even starting a business for her. This holistic products business with cosmetics. They started that. He sort of funded that business to get it off the ground. Now, it so happens that during COVID, when that business took a downturn, somebody introduced her to this man, White Knight, or Dwight Gale. Now, I call him a man, but I use that term loosely. When she was introduced to him by somebody in the music fraternity business, they told her that he was overseas. And he's a Jamaican who lives overseas. And that he would want to be in touch with her. And they exchanged photographs and so on and started correspondence. And he decided that, no, you are my girl. And he started funding her. And he funded her, not only funded her, but he set her up to get contracts, fund the music videos that she was doing, and he started funding several things that she was up to, and was sort of making her into the person she is. In return, he said, listen, before I come out, I don't want you to give away the pums. You must keep the pums for just me. But she, at the time, in the beginning, based on what I'm hearing, she did not know he was actually in prison for murder. She thought he was just overseas working. So it went on, and it was only later in the game that she found out. But because every time he say he's coming to Jamaica, then he don't reach. And he's coming to Jamaica, then he don't reach. But she eventually found out, and it's when she found out that he was in prison that she was trying to pull away. In trying to pull away, she were doing things that he did not like. And this was gone because when she met him, it was in the latter half, according to what I hear, it was when COVID lockdowns were coming to an end sometime in mid-2019. So they are being together now. I would say being together because they were never together. It was like going 2 years. In that time, he found everything she wanted. Not only found everything she wanted, but he put her up in a big apartment, 2-bedroom apartment in Mayfair, in Red Hills. Now, let me tell you guys something about Mayfair. It's not even in Red Hills, it's just at the top of Red Hills Road, basically, just above Norbrook. So, but it's on the hill and it's expensive. If you look at these apartments, this is Mayfair. And you see Mayfair, the cheapest flat in this, because it contains 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms. The cheapest property you can get in Mayfair is $31 million. $31 million. Rent for a 2-bedroom flat in Mayfair is something like $45,000 a month. And that is and that's for one of the cheap rent. And I think that's for like a 1-bedroom. So basically, this man was paying for all of that from jail. So he was managing everything as if he was on the road. Point to note, you know, when I think of it, when people gonna tell us a crime don't pay, you know, it makes you wonder. Because this man can stay in a jail and run people's life out a road and have not only and can decide their happiness, their sadness, or whether they live or die, and doing all that from behind prison walls. So the point is, if the police want to go and interview this man, they know where to go. and they can start monitoring his phone calls. Every phone call he make can be monitored because they will know who he calls, and all they would have to do is to set somebody to dig down himself cell and find information that they want. But of course, this requires the cooperation of the prison services, which if the bribe too big, they're not going to get the information that they need. So there's the first lead for the police. Now, point to note, you see all of these Krasmites, all of these mass murderers, these incarnate sons of Satan, let me tell you the thing with them. They all claim to be entertainers and music producers. So you see, for me, basically, you see, from a man come up and say I'm an entertainer or I'm a producer, as far as the producer is the head gangster. Take him out. Once somebody, one Krasmite, say, listen, I'm an entertainer or I'm into music, dirt him. Straight dirt. Because that is the one little subterfuge that they all try to hide behind to actually gain or seem legitimate. No, and another thing, I don't know if the family, her mother and her sisters really, really don't know about this guy in prison, are afraid to talk. But if you listen properly, and we're going to go back to a piece of the interview that Cliff Hughes from Nationwide had with the younger sister, Brittany. Listen to this.
So, was she involved? Did she have a partner?
The same manager is her fiance.
The same manager who said she had a video shoot for Friday.
Yes, it's her fiance.
How long they've been together?
I think like maybe a year from last year.
From last
year.
So you met him, did you?
No, I haven't. I never met him before.
What about your other siblings?
No, none of us never met him before.
And has he been in touch with the family?
With whose family?
With her family, with all of you. Has he been in touch with all of you?
Yeah, he from Sunday was the last time we heard anything from him, and we tried calling him and nothing.
And what did he say on Sunday when he contacted you?
He said if there's any clip, that's all, and he said it was video shoot on Friday, and that's it. Those two things he wants, a clip of a car that pick her up, and he doesn't know about any shoot for Thursday.
So he wanted a video clip?
Yes, he wanted a footage of the car that may come and pick her up. If we get any footage. He was asking if we got any footage from the police and of the car that come and pick her up.
Yeah. Do you know whether he has been in touch with the police?
No, I'm not sure about that.
No. If she could tell them plain that, listen, I am unhappy, I don't want to be with this person, and he's making my life miserable. We are just I'm angry and upset, and he is controlling, and she don't tell him the reason why. Chances are she told them, but because they don't want it to look bad that she take up a murderer from prison, they decide to omit that, and they would rather not state that. Our chances are Stephany was really, really, really secretive in keeping that from them, and they really did not know. But at some point, but they talk to the man. They talk to him. I don't know if he keep calling them or they keep calling him, but they have a clear line of communication and constant communication. And also, Remember the first thing the man was concerned about when she went missing is whether or not anybody have a video footage of the car that came to pick her up. That's his first concern. Why you think that is? He wants to see if there are any loose ends. And I think he found out when he realized that there was no loose ends, he was good. Now, what I wanted to do, I did some checks to see Navigator Entertainment. And when I went on the company's office website, I actually found 3 Navigator Entertainment. One was closed down in April of 2023, and it was a sole trader. As you can see, the business closed down in January of this year and then reopened back in April of this year. And it was only like 2 months and 2 days between the time when it closed and reopened. And this time it didn't reopen as a partnership or as a sole trader. It opened up as a limited liability company. I am doing more digging because this business is having as its secretary someone named Tamika Gale. And I'm trying to find out if this Tamika Gale is somehow connected to White Knight or this monster, this mass murderer. I need to know. So I'm doing some digging. I think I've found something where this Tamika Gale was mixed up in something to do with 4 other murders. But so I don't know if it's connected. But here's a point to note. The last man, Ron Walcott, that White Knight killed, he killed him in Clarendon because he had moved away from St. Mary well in his teens, in his early teens, and had gone to live in Clarendon. But every time something pops up, he gives his address as St. Mary when he had left St. Mary when he was mid-teens and had gone to Clarendon. So the fact that this new agency, Navigator Entertainment, which is registered with a Clarendon address, there is a link. If Stephany Williams is found alive, I will definitely be bringing that story. But otherwise, hopefully this can be considered the matter as closed. Guys, thanks for listening. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.